to a new episode of FIA Pure Motorsport. This week, we enter the spectacular and fascinating world of drifting. We take part in a great rally adventure in Kazakhstan and introduce you to the Hungarian Race Driver of the Year 2020. And much, much more from the FIA world of motorsport. The second round of the FIA World Cup for cross-country rallies takes the contenders to Central Asia for Rally Kazakhstan, where the arid scrublands, savannas, and deserts of the world's largest landlocked country form the backdrop for yet another unique adventure for the 34 crews on the start list. After his third-place finish in Rally Andalusia, Saudi Arabian Yazid Al-Rajhi, 2018 Rally Kazakhstan winner, would like to make up points on the first-place finisher in the overall standings. All legs of this rally will essentially start and finish in the city of Aktau on the shores of the Caspian Sea. The first selective stage is 280 kilometers long and a fast track with small dunes, making it difficult to navigate. The first victim of these challenges is favorite Yazid Al-Rajhi, who commits a navigational error that costs him dearly. In his Toyota Hilux Overdrive, he finishes at the end of the day just fourth. His Toyota teammates Lucio Alvarez from Argentina and Frenchman Ronan Chabot place themselves in front of him in second and third place respectively. But the big surprise of the first day is Mathieu Serradori, number 208. In his South African-built Century CR6 buggy alongside co-driver Loic Minaudier. The Frenchman beats Argentina's Lucio Alvarez by 1 minute 55 seconds and finishes the first leg with the best time. The second selective section is the first part of a marathon stage with no service assistance. While the teams head the 279 kilometers from Aktau City to a night halt at the Kenderly Resort on the Caspian Sea, their team personnel remain in Aktau, and the drivers enjoy this very fast track. It's the comeback of Yazid Al-Rajhi, who claims the fastest time. He's 47 seconds faster than Sweden's Matthias Ekström in his Mini John Cooper Works buggy, number 210. The overall leader, Mathieu Serradori, number 208, clocks the third fastest time. After two legs, the Frenchman extends his lead over second place Lucio Alvarez. The Argentinian finishes the stage in fifth place. With his win, Yazid Al-Rajhi moves up to third place in the overall classification. The second part of the marathon stage is between Kenderly and a return to the Aktau city, over 330 kilometers of a selective section that heads east and inland from the coastal night halt before looping back to finish close to Senek. Saudi Arabia's Yazid Al-Rajhi continues to hunt down Frenchman Mathieu Serradori. And the Saudi Arabian has a great race. The Toyota Hilux Overdrive team is again the car with the fastest time, despite very tricky navigation. Mathieu Serradori is almost 7 minutes slower, and Argentina's Sebastian Halpern is third quickest in a Mini John Cooper Works buggy. Al-Rajhi guides his Toyota Hilux to a second successive stage win to reduce Serradori's overall advantage to just 22 seconds. Lucio Alvarez is in third place. The penultimate leg of this year's event includes a competitive section of 308 kilometers and is centered around the deserts to the northeast of Aktau and across the Mangostau region's remote Mangashlak Peninsula. The Saudi pushes his Toyota Hilux hard through the opening kilometers, is fastest at the early splits, and has taken a virtual overall lead of the rally when he sustains a front right drive shaft breakage and gets stuck in the soft sand. While Yazid and his German co-driver Dirk von Zitzewitz are attempting to dig themselves free, Sebastian Halpern's Mini comes over the dune and collides with them. The Saudis' problems lift Overdrive Racing teammate Lucio Alvarez back into second place. So the path is clear for Mathieu Serradori. The Frenchman and his navigator Loic Minaudier take control of first place. They now have an overnight lead of 22 minutes 53 seconds over Lucio Alvarez. Russian driver Denis Krotov is in third place. The scenic final stage of 267 kilometers runs along the Caspian shoreline to the north of Aktau city and loops in a counterclockwise direction around the western tip of the peninsula. And it's going to be a dramatic stage. Predictably, Saudi Arabia's Yazid Al-Rajhi bounces back from fourth stage woes that saw him slip from 4th to 18th position. Then runaway leader Mathieu Serradori breaks his Century CR6 buggy. That opens the door to victory for Alvarez and Spanish navigator Armand Monleon. They guide their Overdrive Racing Toyota Hilux to a memorable career best win. The Russian pairing of Denis Krotov and Konstantin Zivtsov claim second overall in their Mini Cooper John Works rally. Swedish teammates Matthias Ekström and Emil Bergqvist round off the podium places in an X-Raid buggy after setting the second quickest time on the final stage. A great and unexpected win for the Argentinian. Krotov and Ekström also on the podium collect valuable points for the overall standings. The surprising end to a great adventure, Rally Kazakhstan proved to be a difficult but great experience. Spring 2020. The racetracks are abandoned, the races are cancelled. The peak of the COVID-19 pandemic has the motorsport world firmly in its grip. But Norbert Kish is doing what he loves best, racing. Sim racing in the ETRC Digital. Nothing new for Norbert Kish. His career as a racing driver began in front of a screen.
My story is actually that when I was in high school, 18 or 19 years ago, I started with sim racing, and I was at home driving, the sim racing at my PC on the internet with people and everything. And in one of these online championships, I win an opportunity in 2005 when I was 20 years old to drive a real race car on a circuit, and that's how I became a real racing driver.
From the start, he's enjoyed success on the real racetracks. In 2011, he switched to truck racing, won the FIA European Championship in 2014 and 15, but he remains true to sim racing.
Every year I was there in some sim racing championship. Even if I was racing in the real racing championship, then I was sim racing in the winter time.
Drivers have to have talent in both worlds, but talent is not everything in motorsport.
The real thing requires a little bit more because you have to be very brave to make some of the the fast turns, and brake late and everything, because when your body is on the line, obviously it's much more risk.
In 2020, he won the virtual championship and took his excellent form into his brand new red Revesh truck. When the season finally started, he won 4 out of 7 races and was well on his way to winning his 3rd title, but then the season was cancelled due to COVID-19. Kish's dreams vanished into thin air. But repealed is not postponed. This year, the 36-year-old has one goal: to win his 3rd championship. "15 drivers line up on the grid at the Hungaroring to kick off the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship season. Local ace and 2-time title winner Norbert Kish surely must be considered the favorite. In race 1, the 36-year-old starts in his red truck from the pole position. Alongside him, the number 30 of Sasha Lenz. Lenz with a good start side by side with Kish, but the Hungarian has the inside line and stays out front. In lap number 3, Norbert Kish slows down. Later, the problem is diagnosed as a faulty boost pipe, so everybody is overtaking the favorite and he has to unfortunately retire. Sasha Lenz is the new leader, a position he keeps till the end, taking the first win of the new season. 6-time champion Jochen Hahn finishes in 2nd place, Adam Lachko in 3rd place. In race number 2, Stefan Fass's brakes refuse to work and the German driver crashes unrestrained into the barrier. No one is injured, but the race is red flagged and later cancelled due to safety concerns. So no winner in the 2nd race of the weekend. Race 3 the next day, Norbert Kish has the pole and is desperately looking for his first win on home soil. Sascha Lenz slightly getting his nose in front down towards turn 1. But again, Norbert Kisch is using the better line to stay in front. After this first challenge, Norbert Kisch is not looking back. Kisch with his first win of the new season, putting his home fans into a frenzy. Another important podium finish for Sascha Lenz, who finishes in second place, and Adam Lachko finishes in third. After a fantastic first home win for Norbert Kisch, he wants to also be successful in the final race of the weekend. But Theo Calvet starts on the pole position alongside Steffi Halm, with Shane Brereton and Jochen Hahn behind. Norbert Kisch starts way back in 8th position, but a great start by Kisch, who takes the outside line, passing several trucks in one turn. He gains a couple of positions. A good start into a big challenge to make it to the front of the pack. Theo Calvet loses a couple of positions, and Kisch attacks the French driver in the next right turn. He passes him on the inside and is now already up in 4th position. Kisch is in attack mode, having a great race. Very quickly, he takes the 3rd position from Shane Brereton and is now chasing down the leaders, Steffi Halm and Adam Lachko. Next up for Kisch, Adam Lachko. After a long straight, he slides next to the Czech and overtakes him with a great maneuver on the inside. A fantastic race so far by the Hungarian. One lap later, he takes the lead. Same position, same maneuver, same outcome. This time, Steffi Halm has no chance against Kisch, but she manages to stay in front of Adam Lachko, but Kisch pulls away quickly. With Kisch well out in front, the battle for second position shifts into focus. Adam Lachko relentlessly attacking the German driver, but Steffi Halm defends her position with everything she has. What a spectacular race for Norbert Kisch. Started in 8th position and then showing his brilliance by overtaking 7 trucks to win the race. Steffi Halm with a great second place, and Adam Lachko tried everything but has to be satisfied with his third place finish this weekend. Norbert Kisch wins 2 races in front of his home fans, but after the first round of the new season, Sascha Lenz has the lead in the overall standings. Adam Lachko is in second place, and Norbert Kisch sits in third. Oliver Biermann is dominating the start of the new season of the ADAC Formula 4 at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. The 16-year-old British race driver easily wins in the first 2 races, controlling the rest of the field in his Van Amersfoort racing car. In the 3rd race, he collides with his team colleague Joshua Dufek and must retire from the race. His bad luck is luck for the others. A gripping battle for victory develops. The son of former F1 driver Juan Pablo Montoya, Sebastian Montoya overtakes Kirill Small and Victor Bernier for the lead. Afterward, his 2 toughest opponents interfere with each other. But then the 16-year-old makes a simple mistake and loses his lead. But he fights and takes back the lead with a great maneuver. Montoya crosses the finish line first, but a 5-second time penalty for a false start sets him back. Luke Browning wins. Sen-Yu Han finishes second, and Nikita Bedrin in third. The newest FR America's Team TJ Speed makes its debut in style, sweeping the Road Atlanta event with rookie pilot Kiffin Simpson. Simpson of the Cayman Islands driving a perfect weekend, qualifying in the pole position, leading every race lap in 2 of 3 races, and claiming the fastest race lap in all 3 races, and leaving the first event weekend as the series points leader. For the 3rd time, the Portugal Eco Rally takes place in Oeiras. The teams not only enjoy the beautiful landscape west of Lisbon, but also make their contribution to the promotion of electric and new energy cars. a promotion that works globally and locally. The municipality of Oeiras, which in 2018 had practically no chargers, is now installing a network that will be able to charge up to 80,000 kilometers per day. So the winner of the Portugal Eco Rally is not only the Spanish team Eneco Conde and Lorenzo Serrano in their Kia e-Niro, but in particular the environment. Drifting is the fastest growing motorsport around the world, finding a wide audience amongst the younger generation of fans.
So FIA is having a lot of traditional motorsport, but drifting is bringing something new, fresh, young blood. Everything is happening in front of the crowd. You're having like very small part of the track. It's like 4 corners, 6 corners maximum.
FIA has introduced new regulations to develop safe and sustainable drifting as part of the FIA family and to standardize the discipline from a grassroots level upwards.
We try to make sure when they go to an event, at these events, there's a regulation. The organizer, even if he's not connected to an ASN or something like that, he can say, okay, there's a set of regulations, minimum standards, we will make sure they comply to it.
This is how the FIA is building the structures for a great sport that can be practiced almost anywhere. The world's top drivers got their first experience in some motorsport unusual locations.
We had a pond that was frozen, and so we were basically riding on it. We also drove on lakes.
We were on a private beach in Ireland, so right by the sea, really nice weather, and the beach is really wide. So that was probably my first real, like, full-on power slide, nice speed, and really exciting.
Drifting is the only FIA-regulated motorsport where results are not determined by a stopwatch, but by a panel of judges. And these judges not only judge the battles, but also the qualification, like in the FIA Intercontinental Drifting Cup.
In qualification, it's spread into the 3 main factors. It's line. Line is showing us how the drivers are capable of following a set track, which is determined by outside zones, touch and go zones, and clipping points. Outside zone is the place where the driver needs to go through it with the rear wheels from side to side, so completely fill it. Touch and go zone is also rear one, but it's enough to touch it anywhere in the surface by one wheel. And then we're having front clipping points, and that's the place where we are pushing the drivers to be there with the front of the car.
They also look for the perfect drift angle. The right balance between angle and speed is important.
The aim of the sport is to be sideways.
And all that with perfect style means the driver needs to show the right commitment and has to be fluid.
The drivers needs to show to the judges how committed they are to the track, how close they can run to the walls, how they are using their throttle, how they are committed in their driving.
We're drifting in excess of speeds of sometimes over 100 miles per hour. So very fast, a lot of commitment. We're judged on our line, which is getting the clipping points, angle, how sideways the car is, and style. So you want to be as smooth and committed as possible.
You can earn up to 100 points for your performance. The drivers with the most points make it into the top 32 battles. There, they'll do it all over again, but battling against another car. 2 runs against each other. Each driver has 1 lead run and 1 chase run. The chase run must follow the lead car.
And he's trying to be as close as possible. He needs to be mimicking his angle, his line. He needs to be synchronized with his transitions and so on. Afterwards, we are choosing who is better in lead to lead, chase to chase, and that guy's moving forward.
So drifting is becoming one of the most spectacular motorsport disciplines, and in our next show, you'll get to know the world's best drift driver better as we head to Riga for one of the toughest competitions, the FIA Intercontinental Drifting Cup. The Formula Regional by Alpine, certified by FIA, has its 5th stop this season in Zandvoort, Netherlands. The F1 circuit Zandvoort is close to the ocean, so the weather is always playing an important role during race weekends. After 8 races, Swiss Grégoire Saucy leads in the overall standings with 110 points. Zane Maloney is in second, and rookie Isaac Hadjar is in third place. At the beginning of race 1, number 26 Grégoire Saucy has a good start, but so have number 10 Hadrien David and number 46 Gabriel Mini. The French driver manages for a moment to overtake the Italian, but Mini is gaining back his position immediately. Positions are hard to change as overtaking is not easy on the Dutch circuit, but battles between Isaac Hadjar, Michael Belov, and Dino Beganovic are extremely entertaining. Soon Beganovic in the red and white car makes a great move on Belov and gains 8th position. In the meantime, Saucy has gained more than 2 seconds on Mini, who is more than a second ahead of David. Eight minutes to the end of the race, and it's Patrick Pasma to go off track, and the safety car is needed. At the restart, Saucy is perfect, while Mari Boya has some difficulties, and he's overtaken by Franco Colapinto and Isaac Hadjar. Saucy is never really challenged and wins his 5th race this season. Behind the Swiss driver, Gabriel Mini finishes second and Hadrien David secures the last place on the podium. Race 2 on Sunday. From the pole position, Grégoire Saucy starts well. Next to him is his teammate Gabriel Mini. But in the first quarter, Mini gets stuck behind the Swiss. This is a great chance for Franco Colapinto in the orange and blue car, and he takes this chance, overtaking Mini and placing himself between the 2 cars of the Art Grand Prix team. Car number 8, William Alatalo, attacks and overtakes Francesco Pizzi, who falls back to 5th position. His battle all along the race to defend himself from Kaz Havencourt and Paul Aron will be exciting. In the rear positions, David Vidales, number 12, makes a great move on Andrea Rosso and overtakes the Italian, who has had big difficulties this weekend after breaking the chassis on his car and having to substitute it. The Spanish drivers having a great race, recovering 9 positions from 25th to 16th. Great job also by his teammate Dino Beganovic, gaining 11 positions from 30th to 19th. A great battle also taking place between Eduardo Barrichello, number 91, and Emilio Pesce. The son of Rubens Barrichello overtakes the Italian. He finishes the race in a solid 19th place. Up front, Saucy gains distance from Colapinto, while Mini, after being really fast in the first laps, loses the performance of his tires and has to accept to finish 3rd. In the final laps, the Argentinian driver of MP Motorsport manages to catch up on Saucy, but the Swiss driver finishes the race first and obtains once more the perfect weekend with 2 pole positions and 2 wins. Franco Colapinto finishes in 2nd place. Gabriel Mini manages to defend his 3rd place. It's the 6th win in 10 races for Grégoire Saucy. The first podium of the season for Colapinto and Gabriel Mini with another good race weekend.
Yeah, the race wasn't really easy. Like the first part I can manage it, but at the end I struggled a lot with degradation. And Franco had, I think, managed better the degradation, so he catch me at the end. But yeah, I did a gap in the first part of the race, and after I can manage it to the end, so it was good.
In the overall standings, Sosi increases his lead on second place by 64 points. Hadrian David moves up from 4th to 2nd place, and rookie Isaac Hajar still in a great 3rd place. That's it for today. On the next episode of FIA Pure Motorsport, we'll bring you the spectacular hill climb action from Italy. We have great karting action from Wackersdorf. And dig even deeper into the fantastic world of drifting with the top drivers battling against each other in Latvia. Till next time, take care everyone, and ciao.